Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about The Walking Dead comic issue 170. Now, normally I like to talk about The Walking Dead comic during the day when it's brand new and fresh. However, the ad boycott is still bending me over, giving me a good, nice, proper prison-style pounding. But enough about that nightmare and or good time. For those who haven't heard by now, my comic Doomsday Kingdom has gotten a digital release for the first issue. That's out now at doomsdaykingdom.com. Stay tuned because in a few weeks we're going to have the pre-orders up for the physical release if all goes well. On to the issue. On the Road is the title of this issue, and we kick it off with something I do like a lot in this issue, which is the continuity with our four musketeers. They're heading to Ohio, and we see them in the very start of this issue, in the very start of their journey. And later on, we're going to see them get to the end of the safe zone, where they meet the last border patrol guard that they have on the roads, and then we'll see them enter the territory they're not familiar with, and then we'll see them enter the city. So I do like how that's well blended. We see bits and pieces throughout their journey. As a matter of fact, we only see them open up and tell a little bit of a joke about you being excited, and then Michonne says she's worried. And then we jump over to Rick talking to Jesus about Dwight. I'm kind of curious to see what direction this is going to go, but it did feel a little clunky because we touch base with Alexandria. Rick is talking to Jesus, and then a few pages later, Jesus is talking to Aaron, and it takes you a moment to realize that this is happening days later, because it just was him talking to Rick, and now he's telling Aaron he's leaving to go to the hilltop. It was just a tad clunky. Anyway, backing it up, we get Maggie, and she's daydreaming because she's worried about Negan, and Dante's following Negan around, and I don't know if she's worried about, or maybe she is worried, plus processing what, is happening with Negan being on the loose. I mean, that's probably a lot to process, but I'm sure she's also worried for Dante's safety. This is a madman, she knows, The Negan we know now is probably going to turn around and be like, all right, jerk off. Like, we know Negan. Negan's not going to turn around and murder Dante, especially with the way he's been acting towards Rick. If anything, he probably thinks Rick sent the dude to keep an eye on him just to make sure. So we know Negan isn't just going to murder him. Watch Kirkman prove me wrong and have him murder him. I don't know. But Maggie doesn't know that. She sees a raging lunatic psychopath. I did kind of find it odd that Dante's horse wasn't a giveaway. It didn't seem like he was that far away. But anyway, Negan travels and he has some really cool lines. The Death Kitchen line especially. We should get some t-shirts made of that, or in the community, Skybound, The Walking Dead, make those t-shirts. He visits Lucille at her grave, and we see Dante in the background. So I think this is really interesting because we know the Whisperers are out there. I'm actually worried that they kept Beta, or Kirkman kept Beta alive to attack Negan and or Dante at this point, and then to get killed by, like, if Beta attacks Dante, Negan shows up and he actually saves Dante and ends up killing Beta. And if Negan gets wounded really bad during this fight, Dante might bring him to the hilltop. Where else is he going to bring him? Imagine that. I'm kind of worried. I mean, listen, that would be so awesome if that happened, but Beta got away, and Negan was really hurt saving Dante, and Dante loaded him up and took him to the hilltop. I love the complexity there, the conflict. I love that. What is Maggie going to do? Dante's like, yo, this dude just saved my life, like, out of nowhere. I owe him. And Maggie's like, no, I'm not going to treat him. I'm not letting the doctors touch him. And Dante is like, I can't not do something for him. Like, you know what I mean? And then we see Maggie reluctantly just, I don't know. I think that's a good creative playground. I like that idea. I don't want the Whisperers to die, though. It's like he left them alive, maybe for something epic, but just to come back and have a failed attack as a last bullshit hurrah, it kind of feels like a dud firework, if you know what I mean. But if they attack and get away, and then Negan is hurt real bad, and you get what I'm saying. I don't need to repeat myself. I like that idea, and it just dawned on me now. Anyway, we got Dwight talking to his girlfriend about Rick and Negan being no different. Now, I like Dwight a lot, but I'm sorry. The hand of God needs to come down out of a cloud and slap some sense into this son of a bitch, because they are extremely different. There are similarities, sure, but if you're going to sit there and say a leader making difficult choices is all the same no matter what, like, there's a huge difference between Rick and Negan. Rick will do some foul shit if that's what the situation calls for, but Rick is nothing at all like Negan. So someone needs to slap the bullshit out of Dwight, and I'm saying that as a Dwight fan. And this is a perfect example. Negan was set free from a kid who lost his family, and he was mourning, in his own little way. And what did he do? He took his knife and stuck it in his guts. You know what I'm saying? Rick, in the very next scene after Dwight is shit-talking him, he goes up to Mikey, who just lost his mother, and I love this scene. I thought this was epic, even though we're not that close to... There's no connection with Mikey, you know? Just having Rick telling him that bullshit, it's gonna be okay, and then he starts crying because he just lost Andrea. I thought that scene was just awesome. I mean, this is such a damn cool scene. And again, there's not that connection with Mikey. Maybe they'll do something with him from this point on. I think that would be cool. But this scene here I thought was just perfect. And then we get William, who is the leader of the kingdom, or the new leader of the kingdom. And I think this is great. This is doing a little bit. It's one scene. It's actually the second scene, a quick one, where we really showcase how cool this leader is. He's not letting our survivors down. He's bringing supplies that the kingdom has been scavenging all these supplies to make an expansion, and he's bringing it to the hilltop to help out, and I just think that is so awesome. I do think that's actually setting him up to take a fall, and I know the community's getting new leaders and betrayals and internal conflict. It's starting to get old, but I think there's something really clever you can do between the leader here and that other character that we know is not happy with the current situation, although he might fall back a little bit since the war's already done. Next it goes to Michonne and the group, and Kirkman is ODing on his gay quota. You got Eugene, he's watching again. You know what I mean? I don't know. I thought that was a tad much. It was like, oh, we're revisiting this old ground, but in a playful way, not in like a shit-talking way. Anyway, so they're attacked at night. Now here's where we'll get into a little bit of shit-talking. I get it. You know, it's dark out, and I think a lot of people overlook this. Matter of fact, a few nights back, there was a huge thunderstorm, and we actually left not knowing that the power was out, and it is darkness. It is pitch black. But my thing is, you would hear them. So I think, imagine how epic this is. And I'm a little bit frustrated Kirkman didn't go this route. Yes, would it have eaten up more time? Yes, you would have had to take this issue and spill it over into two different issues, but it's worth it. If you take that time to highlight the fact that it is pitch black and you're hearing these noises and you got shit going on over there. You got the chicks making out, Eugene's, doing his thing, and then Michonne's getting some rest, and Siddiq is like, I don't know if that's, animals or nature or what, but you hear something, build that creepiness up, and then boom, there you got the walkers, and it's like, at first he didn't want to shoot because obviously that's giving away his position. What if it was nothing? What if it was an animal? I mean, what if it was a survivor and a good guy? It's just a whole lot of things to factor in. So boom, you get the monster. I don't know, there's something about it where I kind of miss that horror, and I feel like they're setting up this, we're going into the unknown now. I want to be horrified out there in the unknown, even if it means filling up more of the issue with that type of story. Me personally, I'll take it all day. So yeah, Eugene comes, and I think that was a badass scene. Eugene saves Siddiq, and this plays a part later on, but they decide to keep going. And then it goes back to Jesus and Aaron, and this scene just did not work for me at all. I don't know if it was the writing or these two coming together. It kind of felt like, Kirkman was in a bit of a rush, and he just gave up on trying to naturally show these characters are falling for each other or have fallen for each other through the dialogue, and just opted to have the characters say it just out in the open. It was all like, your hair's rad, my hair's rad, oh, I love you, by the way, get on your knees, bitch. I don't know, a whole lot of superficial writing there. But anyway, the scene just didn't work for me. Now we move right on to the empty city. Now this stuff I thought was fantastic. The empty city was gorgeous. The artwork they did here. Now, this is a city that has been human-free, zombie-free. There's probably a few, there's probably definitely zombies walking around, but you get what I'm saying. The herds have moved on and dispersed into the countryside, so there's shit lingering around. But this is a city that is being taken over from nature again. We are now in the Last of Us visual style of the world of The Walking Dead. It's The Last of Us, The Walking Dead style as far as the visuals and the world. Yeah, given The Last of Us was 20 years, but like I said, there's a sidewalk down the street in my apartment. They haven't done anything with it in 2 weeks. They're remodeling the area, and already vines have taken over the entire sidewalk. In 2 weeks, it's been years. So just imagine the type of city landscapes we can get, and we're starting to get them here. The creative playground for the type of horrific atmosphere you can set up, the horror, the tension, the suspense with the zombies and all that, visuals. This is a gold mine with this city, with this unknown territory that they're heading for. All right, anyway, so they decide to sleep inside a building, and this is where the issue kind of falls apart for me. You have Eugene, who's like, Siddiq, you're acting weird for days, and that's our second clue that time is passing a lot faster than this issue really made it seem, where Eugene is like, okay, you're acting weird, what's going on? And Siddiq is like, you saved my life, you've been so nice, you've been so helpful throughout the community. It was Rosita who loved me. Now, this felt really weak for a number of reasons. First off, the whole entire fan base, almost, a lot of the fan base knew it was Siddiq who was the father of Rosita's baby, and that was because we can narrow it down for the simple fact that he's one of the only characters that has been getting any shine. If you were thinking they would have just thrown in a random different character, then okay, you might not have seen Siddiq, but so many different fans just knew it was Siddiq, and I just felt like a cliffhanger should be something shocking, revealing, exciting, or coming down off of something, when something sad happens, saying goodbye to a character, or the end of a type of story, or a victory, a defeat, something like that. This, I just felt, was totally weak because there was absolutely no surprise, or at least for me. Some fans out there, I'm sure you were surprised. Not everyone is going to be like, oh, I feel like it was Siddiq. I don't know. I just felt like that cliffhanger just definitely didn't work for me as a reader. Other than that, though, I'm loving what we're getting with this new territory, and I am hoping Kirkman just pumps his brakes and we see some of this environment. Screw the human threat. I don't care about the human threat for now. Just give us a couple issues, sprinkle in the atmosphere, sprinkle in the zombies, sprinkle in that environment. I mean, that creative playground is a gold mine. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think about this issue. Put your thoughts and opinions down in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Let me just say this one more time. It was a good issue. I liked it. There was just a couple parts that fell through a little bit for me personally. One being a big one, which is the cliffhanger, which really kind of kicks you in the gut. When the cliffhanger doesn't work, that's the last thing you read. You kind of come away salty. But when I flick back through it and see the stuff I really liked, I liked it. I'm excited for what comes next. Anyway, every single one of you guys who purchases the digital copy, you are directly helping us to be able to keep this going and actually give us a leg up into starting to make the physical copies. And then we're going to start some pre-orders in a couple weeks. That's going to be the other bit of help that is absolutely going to make it possible for us to get the physicals doing this ourselves. So, DoomsdayKingdom.com. If you like it, there's previews there. If you like it, please support. It's only $4 an issue. Massive thank you. This is a huge story, and I would just love to tell it all. So thank you very much. Good night.